Part 7 is what we're talking about now, the World Heavyweight Championship, Alberto Del Rio versus Christian. And I referenced this earlier with the RVD and Dean Ambrose situation. If you have somebody look like they should have won a match and that there's going to be a rematch, you do not flip the fucking person to a different feud. They should have had Christian either just flat out lose this match, end a story, and then they can move on, or have Christian involved with Del Rio again. They made him look like he really essentially just about won this match. And I don't see the reason why. Does anybody else?
Well, he hurt his shoulder, and that's what led him to lose. But I don't think he almost didn't seem like he almost won. And like Del Rio got the better of him and beat him fair and square. And there was no like tomfoolery that went down in the end of the match.
Well, he hit that spear, and it was like, oh, he's gonna win as soon as he goes over there. But then it's like, oh, my arm hurts from the spear, and
he got locked in the cross-arm breaker right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know. It's kind of like if you're gonna set Christian up to not look that bad when he loses, you have to go somewhere with him. And we haven't seen anything going for him right now. It's only been 1 week, sure, but that's their responsibility to pick up the pace.
Or maybe it's just he's lost like that, not looking good so many times that they thought they'd change it up for once, make him not look so terrible. But a good match though. This was like the first really good match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, the ending was very good as well.
It picked up. It wasn't the longest, but they did a lot of really good stuff in the time they were given it. It was Christian who pulled off like the top Hurricane Rana, wasn't it? Like about midway through the match. It was just a lot of good stuff back and forth. But I didn't think that it was going to be anything bad either. I said it would probably end up being one of the better matches of the card. So
I thought it was better than I expected it to be. I'll give them credit, as much as I don't like Del Rio. I do not think though that it warranted the "This is awesome" chant that they gave him.
They gave everything a "This is awesome" chant though.
They gave 3 matches that kind of a chant. And
if someone was like urinating during a Divas match, they'll probably give them a "This is awesome" chant.
Or they chant about themselves and try to pull off being that one crowd in New Jersey, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. But no, I thought all 3 matches where they chanted that kind of warranted it. And there was a lot of good stuff in the ring, like, in terms of match quality. I'm sure I'd be chanting with them if I was there live. You know? What makes you say it didn't quite deserve that type of a chant? Just wasn't that good? It wasn't good enough to warrant that, in your opinion?
To me, "This is awesome" needs to be reserved for really special things. And this wasn't anything special. It was better, like I said, it was better than I expected it to be. But if you go into it not liking Del Rio matches, and then you're just like, I actually kind of enjoyed that. It's not like, oh my god, awesome. Like, you know, you say "This is awesome" for Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, or hell, even the Brock Lesnar versus Punk match. I would have accepted that. Not for this one.
You know, you would probably agree that it was probably the 3rd best match of the night, though, right?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe in the pecking order, yeah. I expected it to be. I'm trying to remember more stuff. I certainly remember the ending with the injured shoulder. I don't remember if they played that up at all. Did Del Rio target the shoulder at all before?
He threw him into, I think, the barricade at one point, and then like they talked about like the shoulder of Christian. They're like, "Oh man, Del Rio should target that." And then like every once in a while, he'd do a shoulder move.
Yeah, and then Christian did the dive outside off the top onto Del Rio and favored his shoulder. Then yes, okay, they did play it up. Because I was gonna say if he speared him, then all of a sudden they're playing up the injured shoulder that he had like a year ago, legitimately. It's like that's a little weird. I will concede. But okay, they did play it up. But no, it was good, solid stuff all the way around. It'd been a little disappointing that Christian's out of the title picture this quickly, as we found out the next night. But it is what it is. At least
he'll get one more match eventually.
Well, I thought this was at least that he got one more match right here.
So he'll get another one more match.
Probably unlike everybody in here, I'm actually a fan of both men. So obviously,
I like Del Rio. I just think. He doesn't need to be in the title picture as much as he is. I don't. He's definitely not like, I don't know, Sheamus.
No, I'd say he's more World Heavyweight Champion material than say WWE Championship material. I think maybe he could go lower than that, but I don't know. I just say Yeah, the only thing you can argue is that he's probably doesn't get anywhere near the response he should, given the pushes he's had in the past.
No.
Yeah.
Peyton, what do you think about this match?
Oh.
Yeah, I cannot get invested in this match at all. I mean, I was sitting there, I was watching it. I was like, oh, I'm watching a wrestling match, but definitely not worth it. This is awesome chant. Not even really worth anything going back and watching a second time. It was just a filler match. It was a filler opponent for Alberto Del Rio. These guys will probably never face each other again. Just like before, this match was pretty pointless.
What do you think, Burhan?
Yeah. I have to agree with Payton. Sorry, Christian, but it did look like a pointless match. There was no feud being built out of this. It just seemed something that was thrown together. Now he's moving on to Rob Van Dam. It's just like, if they kept it going after this, I could see the point. But it just seemed really thrown together and pointless.
Christian did win a number one contenders match to
I
warrant
know,
a title
but
shot at a
they
pay-per-view.
usually say, like,
And
I don't know, for instance, I'm going to use this guy as an example, even though I think he's a piece of shit. Batista wins number one contenders match, but still carries on the feud. Dolph Ziggler, again, he continues a feud with Del Rio over like different shows, pay-per-views, etc. You know, you can't put someone in this one match, he loses, and then it's done. It doesn't work like that, and it just seems like he's just being fed to Del Rio instead of actually being a credible contender. Yes, they put a nice little video package that looked like he was going to retire for some weird reason, but
That was weird.
It didn't. Yeah, that was really weird. It did nothing to build the excitement for this match. It was nothing to get excited about because I knew this is what was going to happen. He was going to be used as fodder. If they continued it, if they had these two trade wins, if they had it to the point where Christian was going to win, but Del Rio, got disqualified, it probably would have piqued my interest, but it didn't.
All right, I got nothing else to say about this. Anybody else?
I think we touched upon everything we can.
Well, Del Rio had the opportunity to pick his own opponent for SummerSlam, and I much more would have supported his choice of Ricardo Rodriguez.
You know what? It probably would have been a much more interesting match, at the very least. I do, like I said, I do think it was better than I expected it to be, but meh is really the best way I can explain it. It's just there wasn't really much going into it. There's nothing coming out of it, so as I believe it was Peyton had said, it's filler, and that shouldn't happen at SummerSlam.
It's overdone and dry.
Yeah. Next part we're going to talk about Natalya versus Brie Bella, and because I don't think that we'll have a ton to talk about with that, we'll also touch upon the Miz and Fandango segments.